Excellent. Alrighty, everything's all set up. I got my tea and my water beside me, so let's get right into it. Howdy. My name is Kelsey D. Crawford. I draw comics, including The Legend of Jamie Roberts, a webcomic about a genderqueer pirate and their two best friends treasure hunting in a land full of dragons. And today, I will be drawing robot comics. These robot comics are for an anthology that is still a work in progress. So you are seeing the first handful of pages that are being worked on. Today we're going to work on pages 3 and 4. I believe I live streamed working on one of the pages previously. But you're going to see at least pages 3 and 4 in progress today. I have the thumbnailed versions, which is basically the script version, loaded up here. We're going to refine the pencils and the layouts a little bit before we get to the inking stage. So, hello Jessica, happy to see you in the chat today. We're going to give it a few minutes. We'll see how crowded it gets today because it is a Friday the 13th. I know what I'm doing. I'm not scared of no Friday the 13th shenanigans, especially since it's already spoopy month. Actually, for folks who are members of my clubs, ko-fi.com/Kelsey D. Crawford for more information on that. It's on the top bar of the screen. Members are going to get a special discount code in my online shop this Sunday. They're going to get first dibs on the discount code, and then the discount code will be going out to the general population in my newsletter later next week. But club members are going to get the discount code first because I'm still sitting on a lot of merch that I had gotten ready for conventions, but I canceled doing any convention appearances for the rest of the year. So I'm sitting on a lot of stuff. I'd like to clear it out before the end of the year. Hence the discount code. So, fan club members, watch your inboxes for Sunday. If you're not a member of the club yet, this is your window of time to do so. You can sign up in the next day or two. Sign up before Sunday if you want to get that discount code. Okay, so this panel, we're actually zoomed in on a little elf girl. Let's draw her in blue pencil. I'm not sure where it was that I discovered this pencil texture in this tool, but I really like how the pencil looks. Bear with me for just a second. I had to disconnect my tablet and reconnect it for some strange reason, because I have programmed on the side that that one of these buttons is the undo button, but for some reason it hasn't been working as intended. There we go. It's back to working again. Just had to be unplugged and plugged back in again. Windows. So, yeah. Oh, we're back to form. Okay. I hope that everybody's week has been okay, all things considered. My week has been mixed. For the most part, it's been fine. Just finishing up a lot of personal projects off hours, and yet still a little preoccupied by this particular robot comic. The thing of it is, I thought I was way further behind than I actually am. I had forgotten that I had placed some of my work in progress files in a folder on my desktop. I forgot that I had put them there. Long story, but I found them and I went, oh, okay, I'm actually a couple of steps ahead of where I thought I was. So, but I am still a little behind when it comes to this particular comic. If I'm going to try to meet the early bird deadline, which I want to try to meet the early bird deadline for reasons. But yeah, working on this comic as best as I can to meet that early bird deadline. Of course, that means that I gotta draw 12 pages of comics, start to finish, between now and November 30th. Which is part of why there's the anxiety going. But we're gonna do this one step at a time, like we do most things. Be good, Bree. Bree's pacing around the living room, thinking about causing mischief. Like she usually do. Okay. Now this little girl, I probably should come up with a character sheet for her as well, the same way that I came up with the character sheet for the robot. Because this character is also going to have 4 different points of age throughout the story. So we see her as a little girl here at the start. She's going to be a young woman about halfway through, and then 3/4 of the way through she's going to be an old woman. And spoilers, her final form is buried. So I mean, I don't have to worry about that final stage at least, but you know, seeing somebody go from, it's kind of like the movie Up, where you see the person as like a small child and then you just see him progressively age up into an old man. It's kind of the same thing with this little girl right here. Oh, for the dad, we're actually going to draw the dad in purple or fuchsia. We'll head right there. But for now, anyway. So let's zoom in here. Oh, he's going to be wearing a kind of an army beret. Oh, hold on. Bree. Why are you pacing by the door? Auntie Alex is going to be home later. Don't you dare. I know what you're thinking. I saw you walk up to that corner. No, You little... Hold on. Come here. Yes, you. Cat tax. Look at these little tiny daggers. Yep. I don't know how this looks. I don't have the camera up. I only have Clip Studio Paint up right now. But here we go. Yes. I'm working. Are you going to continue to be a fussy baby? I don't know why she's suddenly very needy, but she is. It's okay. The internet loves you. So, yeah. It's not torture. She's not running away or growling. She's probably looking very grumpy, though. She does not like to be held. I am the only one allowed to hold her. All right. Yes, Brie. For folks who are keeping tabs on my YouTube shorts, she was actually featured as a character for Inktober in my YouTube shorts. You can check that out on my channel. I actually want to talk about the shorts for a second, because they're actually going way better than I thought they would. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect. I only had the idea of... I wasn't originally intending on doing, like, shorts or, like, little TikToks or anything like that for Inktober, but then the thought came to me before the challenge started, and I was like, why not? I'll give it a test. We'll see what platform works the best and which ones I like doing this stuff the best. And as it turns out, the findings were what surprised me. I'm only like 2 weeks into posting a short every day on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. But the results have surprised me. I wasn't sure what to expect, but well, we'll leave that eyebrow in there, at least for now. So finding number one that surprised me, for folks who are members with me on the Columbus Cartoon Coalition, you'll not be surprised by this because I made a post about it. And I will do a video breaking down a few of the finer points about this. The surprising thing to me was that TikTok was middling. I thought TikTok was going to be the platform that these short videos would be the most popular thing. No. It started out day one super strong, but throughout the week, no, did not. It did not hold. The platform that has performed the best consistently day after day has been YouTube Shorts. And I've started to track I've started to track what days are the best performing days for my stuff in particular. And that's the surprising thing to me. I don't want to say yet what it is, because I don't want to say definitively until the end of the month. But based on the pattern that I'm seeing, I'm like, well, this is an interesting pattern. Wasn't expecting that, but okay. So here we go. Beret. Because military elf. With a big strong jaw. Drew him in a shoulder draped cape, so we'll go ahead and get that. Nice broad-shouldered man. Okay. But yeah, YouTube Shorts have been performing the best out of the 3 platforms. TikTok has been middling at best. The worst performer is Instagram Reels, hands down. Like, YouTube Shorts, I've had 2 shorts go over the 1,500 view mark. TikTok, day 1 had a view count of like 800, and then every day after that has been averaging 250. Instagram Reels, my posts are successful if they go over 100. Instagram Reels suck. So I'm considering not doing them for the rest of the month and just going back to image posts. I haven't decided yet. I tried it a couple of days ago and immediately noticed some churn, like I lost a couple of followers, which, you know, is fine, because like you're going to get that with Instagram. Yeah, it's just been interesting findings. Okay, I wanted to see what this guy's proportions were. Because I couldn't remember how I drew this particular character. I know that, well, because this is one of the movers that drops off R083-14, aka Roberta, the robot. But I remember the other mover I drew as a half-orc. I just couldn't remember the proportions for this guy. Okay. We got a good start, which is good. Cool. Hey, Bree. I'm waving my hand to beckon her, and she is coming. Hello, baby. Yeah. Right now it's a mess of cords. I apologize. Oh, what? Now you don't want in my lap? But you let me hold you earlier. Come on, baby. Bree, come on. Come here, Bree. Come on. Oh, maybe. Come here. Bree, come on. She's pacing around my chair like a little shark. Come here. Bree. I will give you scoopins if you don't jump up here of your own volition. Is that what you want? You want scoopins? Yeah? Do you want scoopins? What, baby? Maybe you want me to beckon with both hands? Sometimes she'll only jump up if I do this. I'm gonna scoop the baby. Come here. Wah. Let's get you comfy. And it's a Bri again. Oh, little fussy baby. You know, I should make a little compilation of Bri clips. Because I know how to do that. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, smushing your face up against the desk. My goodness. It's because the change in weather has gotten her really, really snotty. So she's trying to wipe her nose on pretty much everything. That is why I have a handkerchief. Yeah. There we go. This is now the cat petting hour. Or however long Bri decides to be in my lap. Are you going to settle, madam? Just give me this look like, don't you stop petting mother. Are you going to settle? The same glare again. One of these days, Mooney will also be a lap baby, but he is not a lap baby now. In all honesty, y'all may only see Mooney in occasional vlogs or shorts. Oh, are you done? But you'll be seeing Bri a lot more often, methinks. Here we go. She decided she was done, so we'll go ahead and move back on to Webcomics. Okay, so this is, excuse me, one dude pulling something out of his back pocket. Okay. I have a page 2. Yeah, it's page 2. Work in progress in the upper right corner in this like sub viewfinder. But the details are just vague enough that it was like, I wanted to make sure if the guy's shirt was tucked into his pants or not. I'm going to say that it's tucked into his pants. Okay. Okay, just thinking about how to pose the hand. So we're actually going to turn the thumb layer off for a second. Okay. There, because otherwise that original outline was going to throw me off. So, hello, the Los. Happy to see you join us in the chat. And also, since last we convened in one of these live streams, shout out to Gregory for finding me a copy of Big Trouble in Little China that I could finally watch. I'm so happy. Today's tea is just decaf black Kroger brand with some honey at the bottom in it. I learned from Tuesday's stream to drink the tea more often. So. You know, before I forget, I should really submit my application for Shortbox Zine Fest, I think it is. Shortbox Fair. Because that's an online-only event. I forgot that it was a thing this year. But next year. I want to apply for next year. Also trying to make a decision about whether or not to, because there's a local thing run by my bar, or run by a bar that is local to me. I'm just debating whether I want to go there or not, because the last time that I did an in-person event was back in August, I want to say, and nobody showed up for it. I don't know how well the event is going to go this year, and there's a part of me that's like, you know, part of the reason that you're not doing conventions for the rest of the year is because up until SPX, Small Press Expo, conventions have been kind of a bust so far this year. Do you really want to do a show at the last minute happening October 21st? And then there's another part of me that's like, but if you get The Legend of Jamie Roberts Volume 2 in hand by that date, you could do a book party and do like a book launch party there. I'm still figuring it out. I might do a virtual book party, actually. So once I figure that out, keep an eye on all the spaces. So I'm utilizing the YouTube community posts a lot more frequently. So, you know, when in doubt, at least check there too. I'm actually going to draw this guy's face in green. This guy's a half-orc. I don't know why half-orcs all have a Cockney accent. Except for Ollie. Ollie is my half-orc druid that I decided sounds a lot like this. Because, you know, buck trends, yo. But, like, drawing a little half-orc body here, and sometimes I forget that the jaw needs to jut out a little bit more because of the tusks. Okay. So we've got that layout pretty much done. I forgot to finish this hand here. Oh, actually, I was about to ask Lois a question, but let me see here. Missing NYCC to be here. Oh, you didn't have to do that, bud. If you wanted to go to New York Comic Con, you can absolutely do that. Weirdly enough, one of my comics colleagues actually bowed out of New York Comic Con at the last minute, having basically an anxiety attack, and I'm like, dude, don't go. If the idea of going gives you a panic attack, maybe don't go. Just stay home. Yeah, so I hope he's doing okay. My dude, if you are watching this, I hope you are doing okay. Please take care of yourself. I've never been to New York Comic Con though, so I have heard that it is pretty busy and pretty bonkers, but one of these days I will make it there. And maybe one day I'll make it there as an artist in their vendor hall / artist alley. Maybe one day. That'd be great. Because, you know, the thing that I do want to do more often is, well, more often being a euphemism here, but next year, 2024, I want to try to make it to the bigger shows, the shows that'll draw in like definitely more than like 5,000 people. Because I think I've gotten to a point where the little shows just aren't cutting it for me, with the exception of Rathacon. Rathacon is great. Love Rathacon. Although next year, if I participate in HerdCon again, I might participate as a virtual panelist. Because there was one year that I did that, and it actually went really well. I kind of want to do that again. Let me see something about the proportions of this robot. We're going to call her Roberta because that's the name that she ultimately gets as the story progresses. Her name is Roberta. I just want to make sure that I'm getting her jaw shape right. Okay. So it's a little narrower. She has a bit of a narrower face, so... Doot. I just had a thought, because of where she is in this crate, basically. I'm actually going to draw a symmetry ruler. I don't tend to use rulers a whole bunch, but the one that I use the most is the symmetry ruler. It just comes in handy. Okay. Okay. This is actually her in her kind of resting state at the moment. She has not been activated yet. So That's why she's looking kind of at peace at the moment, is because she's not on yet. She will be in the next page, but not here. Okay, now the symmetry ruler can be turned off because I've got the proportions where I want them to be. Okay. No. Again, we're doing this thing where we can't hit Control Z for undo because it undoes a bunch of steps. So there we go. Okay. So that is page 3 sketched out. I didn't add any background elements in the first 2 panels because we already had like a bunch of establishing shots in page 1 and 2. So we know the setting at this point. Oh, sorry, catching up on comments. Okay. Totally get that there's no budget to go to New York Comic Con then. Totally get that. That's kind of why I had to bow out of Genghis Con, is because I didn't really have the budget to go there, showcase stuff, and come back. I just don't have the budget for it this year. Especially since I sold my car and Genghis Con is in Cleveland. I am based in Toledo, currently speaking, and like I could book a Greyhound to go over there. I'm just not going to because I don't really have the budget to do that this year. Maybe next year, we'll see. Okay, so that is page 3 sketched out. So let's hop over to page 4. Ooh, for this, I know what I want to do. Let's bring up page 2. Excuse me. Now, page 2 was something that I worked on. I want to say there was a day that I worked on it at the, because I'd gone to the library to work on it, because I really needed to get outside of the apartment that day. You know what? There we go. Copy and page 4. Merge that down. Tidy that up a little bit. Did I cheat? Yes. Does it matter? No. Not in my opinion, anyway. Okay. We'll bring up page 2 in the upper corner again. Boop. Cool. I also wanted to see what angle the box was at. Or the crate. A crate is just a wood box. Can't forget that this is on the back of a wagon, so we're gonna erase those lines there. Okay. We'll draw Roberta in green pencil here. I didn't draw profiles versions of her, except for there's a promotional sketch that I did a while back. We'll bring that up in the upper right corner. Aha. Okay. Okay. Realistically, I should have done like character models of this character from all angles, and I did not do that yet. Actually, for the details, let's draw those in blue. Wait. Fuchsia. That'll stand out better. Okay. If anybody has any exciting plans for the weekend, feel free to plug those in the comments if you would like to share. For me this weekend, I want to take 2 days off in a row because I set my own schedule and I work from home now. But last week I did not take 2 days off in a row and I'm starting to feel it. So I think I'm going to try to take 2 days off in a row, Saturday and Sunday. And I need to fix my bike. So definitely going to fix my bike on at least one of those days. Aside from that, I mean, I know what my dinner plans are going to be tonight because I made a big old batch of potato soup. So I'm going to make some, I'm going to have some potato soup leftovers tonight. Up. The no control Z challenge. Okay, here we go. Gonna draw that arm differently. Oh, Susu! I haven't seen you in the chat for a hot minute. I hope everything's okay. Over in your neck of the woods, it sounds like stuff is bonkers, but we don't have to get into that right now. Yeah, things here have been okay. There's there's been some stuff happening offline that is, you know, when I think about it, I'm hanging in there. But it's not anything I don't want to get into right now. But I'll just go ahead and say it's been kind of bonkers for the last couple of weeks on my end. So just happy to be hanging out here, chilling with y'all. Ooh, wait. Okay. Okay. I've also been kind of busy working on a holiday pop-up shop event that's happening next month and trying to get some behind the scenes stuff going for that, so that's keeping me plenty busy as well. Yeah, I have a lot of plates spinning currently. Anyway, seeing your Inktober. Awesome! I'm glad that you've been seeing the Inktober posts. I've been doing the Inktober pictures as YouTube shorts. It's actually working out really well. I'm kind of surprised. I mentioned it towards the beginning of this stream. I'll go ahead and mention it here. I'll do an actual, like, review / breakdown of posting short videos on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram, and having a little video reviewing each platform in terms of, like, which one was the most successful, which one performed the worst, and doing a further breakdown of the details of that sort of thing. But I'll give you a broad overview of it right now. YouTube Shorts, best performing one. The worst performing one is Instagram Reels. So it's to the point where I'm considering not doing Instagram Reels for the rest of the month. I've only been doing them for 2 weeks. So make of that what you will. When I had first started the experiment of posting short videos every day during Inktober, I thought that TikTok was going to be the best performing one, but it's YouTube Shorts. To the point where there are some shorts that I post up on YouTube that perform way better than they did on TikTok, which is surprising to me. And yet, it's like, oh, something that I can take with me. Okay. I'm trying to remember this part of the script. I need to consult my script notes. Bear with me for a minute while I get those up. And also while I'm thinking about it, so I use a software called Trello to track my projects in the to-do list within those projects. I have a video that does a breakdown of how I do this. You can watch that on my YouTube channel. But let me bring it up on my phone, because Trello has an app, so that I can check off that page 3 has been penciled. No, I don't need to edit that line. I just need to check it off. Thank you. Cool. So we got that done. Okay. Let me bring up the script. So I genuinely do not remember what I wrote for this next part. I know broad strokes what the beats are for this story, but as far as, like, what happens in specific panels, I have to look at the script for that. Especially since I had to reconfigure a bunch of stuff. Okay. Oh, man. Draw that line again. Jaw's a little more curvy than that. Draw a little rib cage, kind of, for the automaton. Okay, there she goes. Let's do a split screen effect here. That way I can see his face for reference, because I'm going to be drawing this guy again. I'm so glad that I can do this in Clip Studio Paint, by the way. Okay. Actually, change the angle of that there, because this guy stands up straight like all the time. So posture needs to indicate that. Come to think of it, I kind of modeled this particular character after Frank from Johnson and Sir. At least his build. His build is a lot like Frank. Sometimes I think about that webcomic. I did take it out of print because at the time that I took it out of print, that was when the Black Lives Matter riots were in full swing. And I was like, I don't necessarily feel right monetizing a comic about cops in Fantasyville, even if it's treated like a joke. So I just put the book out of print. I don't really have any intent of bringing it back into print, because the oldest comic that I have a lot of it is just made with methods that I don't use anymore. Johnson and Sir doesn't necessarily represent my oeuvre the way that I think something like The Legend of Jamie Roberts does. So I just phased it out. I don't really have any intent on bringing it back into print. But that said, there are stories that take place in the world of Johnson and Sir that I'm very excited about. Like, Thoughtful Dinosaur is one of those stories. Thoughtful Dinosaur, not a webcomic. It originally started out as a comic that you could read only on my email newsletter. Vanita and the Demon King is that. And Vanita and the Demon King is coming back to regular updates October 27th. So if you would like to get those, you can sign up for my email newsletter, which is free, and get those comics in your inbox. More info in the description. But Vanita and the Demon King is one of those comics that I make only for email newsletter subscribers. Thoughtful Dinosaur was also one of those. And then I gathered those strips together into a book for Thoughtful Dinosaur. So it only really exists in print now. But it was a fun little experiment, and I'm glad that it worked out. For folks who are part of my fan clubs, you'll know that I'm working on a novella right now, which is also set in the world of Johnson and Sir. The working title for it right now is Fuishishi, because it's a word of one of the indigenous people in that book. But I'm thinking about changing it. I don't know what to change it to yet, though, because the premise of it is... The premise is that it takes place in the same world as Johnson and Sir and Thoughtful Dinosaur. So there's, like... Of course, there's elves, but there's also, like, bird people, cat people, monkey people. One of the side characters is Bree, but with Grammy's personality, running a bed and breakfast. Because, like, the entire story takes place in a little town called Seabank, which is right on the cliffs next to the sea. And the story follows a birdman, a man who is a bird, named Falus. And he meets these two young people, Roshin and Blue. Blue being a peregrine falcon man, and Roshin being a human. And Roshin and Blue are a couple until about 5 months later, when Roshin comes back to town by herself. Shenanigans ensue. It's one of those stories that it came to me in a dream, and I'm like, well, I obviously have to put this down on paper. Because the last story that came to me in the dream was The Case of the Wendigo. Weirdly enough. The Case of the Wendigo came to me in a dream, and I'm like, well, I have to put this to paper. I can't ignore it. So that's how that happened, in case you were wondering. I just need to figure out a title for this story that works. Any reactions to Dragon Ball Daima trailer? I have not seen it yet, because I don't want to get my hopes up. I'll be honest. Because, like, as a fan of Dragon Ball, I'm pretty well used to disappointment. I will say, though, the last few years for Dragon Ball stuff has been relatively good. But when it comes to Dragon Ball Daima, I have not seen the trailer yet. I'm not sure whether to expect it to be the next Dragon Ball Z, or if it's going to be the next Dragon Ball Super, or if it's going to be Superhero Dragon Ball, or if it's going to be like a fan project, or what it is. I don't know what to expect. I kind of don't want to be disappointed, which is why I haven't seen the trailer yet, but I did see that the trailer did drop. Just haven't watched it yet. There's a little part of me that kind of wants to stop working on the script or the pencils for this comic just to watch that trailer and have a live reaction recording. But that's not what you signed up here for. Excuse me. No, she'd be looking up kind of at this angle. And is this little girl scared of robots? At first. At first she is. She's trying to think of because like in Angel's Egg there's a scene where the little girl is like clinging onto the soldier's leg, and I'm trying to like envision that scene in my head right now for drawing this particular panel. Okay. I'm gonna have a little bit more tea. I'm kind of out of things to talk about at the moment, so if any of y'all have any questions for me or anything else, feel free to shout it out in the comments. Now, I'm thinking about Dragon Ball, though. I do kind of want to watch Superhero Dragon Ball, which is not the latest movie that came out. That's an entirely different thing, even though they sound alike. Because the movie that came out is Dragon Ball Superhero. I know these naming conventions. It's not my favorite thing to come out of Dragon Ball Super in the last like 5 years. Is these really stupid naming conventions. We're not even going to talk about the Super Saiyan God forms. The names for those are just. We're not talking about that right now. But there is another show. I don't think it's been dubbed and brought stateside yet. I'm wondering if it's only a matter of time before they do. But there is a dub. Or not a dub. There is a show, which is, I think, Japan exclusive right now. Ah, maybe, okay. I might have blown out the mic, and if I did, that's my fault. I don't know when the audio got cut out, but I'll go ahead and repeat the last bit that I was just talking about. Talking about the fact that if you remember that Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, if you remember that Dragon Ball Z, and all those properties are started by a dude who got his start telling jokes and making gag manga. If you just remember that, everything about the series makes more sense and becomes a lot more enjoyable. Like the story that I was relaying when the audio got cut out was I was watching Totally Not Mark talking about the Boo Saga and the fact that there is an enemy named Bobbity who is a clone of Bibbidi, and Bibbidi and Bobbity are trying to bring back Boo. And it is at this point that my roommate overheard this, and she went, "Wait, the bad guys are named Bibbidi, Bobbity, Boo?" And I went, "Yep." And then she just went, "Ah!" and walked away. So, you know, if you just remember that it's not that serious, y'all, the series becomes a lot more enjoyable. I'm not sure how far back the audio turned itself off, so I wasn't really talking about anything super duper serious though, so it's all good. Okay. You know, come to think of it, it's 7-Eleven, and I'll be honest, I'm kind of losing my focus. I know that's kind of hard to believe with the fact that, you know, I've been quiet more often than not this particular stream, but I'm just having a hard time focusing on things right now, and I'm going to take the fact that my audio got cut out, I'm going to take that as a sign that I should probably stop streaming. So here in a bit, here's what I'm going to do. Yeah, we'll call it there. Yeah, I think we'll call it there. Yeah, well, I'm glad that it's been fun. I'm sorry that the audio got caught out. I'm sorry the audio cut out there partway through. At least you got to see Bree twice. You got that at the top of the stream, so at least you got that going for you. Okay, so closing announcements. I will be streaming again Tuesday and Friday again, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If that changes, I'll be making a post in the community tab. But just keep an eye out for once those streams get scheduled, then you can do all the YouTube stuff. I'm going to be drawing more Legend of Jamie Roberts and more of these robot comics for the next couple of streams because I want to try to get caught up on these. I am kind of behind with these robot comics, so I'm going to try to get ahead on those as much as I can. So, all of that said, if you have not checked out The Legend of Jamie Roberts yet, it actually just posted a update 2 days ago. So check that out at thelegendofjamieroberts.com. If you would like to get the Inktober digital zine at the end of the month, head to my clubs. More info on the link on the screen, ko-fi.com/Kelsey D. Crawford, or there's a link in the description. Members of Ko-fi, of my fan clubs, will get the Inktober digital zine at the end of the month. If you would like to see my Inktober sketches, I'm posting them daily as shorts on YouTube, so do all the YouTube stuff. Aside from that, I'm trying to think if there's anything happening this weekend that I need to shout out, but I don't think that there is. Anything else that I might have missed will be in the YouTube description. I did think of something, so I'll go ahead and do this now. I will actually merge this back over. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to go into a little folder here because I have a thing. This is something that I've been forgetting to do for the last couple of live streams, so I'm glad that I remembered it now. Because what I want to do is give shout outs to members of my fan clubs. So shout out to, I'm going to bring the list back up. I'm going to give a shout out to Rob Babe Z, Eileen M, JessicaMcIntosh, hello Jessica, Bryce Bargar, All Unka, Chris Wilmore, Raiden, Alice Tobin, Maya, Ella Q Lagerquist, Andrew Balch, Pat Jade, and Adam Vazquez. All of these marvelous people are members of my fan club. I X'd out of that because the link that was at the bottom of the screen, I actually updated that link. So if you would like to join these illustrious people in having their names shouted out at the end of live streams, head over to the clubs to find out more info. There's a link in the upper right corner and there's a link in the description. That's all I've got for now. I'm going to have some soup. Thanks for watching. You are awesome.